Hey kid, you wanna buy some drugs? I promise, they'll be really good for you. They'll make you think like you got 100% of your brain. It'll make you, as they say, limitless. And that's the name of the movie. Roll credits. Cut it. We're done. Wrap it up. No, we can go home now. Limitless. Yep, that's it. We're done. Oh wait, you actually want to hear me talk about Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro and how this movie is awesome? Alright, stick around. We'll do it. But I'm not making the Limitless joke again. Old man Bradley Cooper. You know, that super suave, action-packed hero that we all love, the American sniper himself. Ooh, what a badass. What if we made him look like a Magic the Gathering nerd? Okay, keyboard warriors, put it down. I'm not here to fight you. I play card games myself, and they're all made for kids. However, Bradley Cooper and Magic the Gathering do not go together. If he was a Magic the Gathering player, I'm sure the game would be a lot more popular than it already is. The point being that in the start of this movie, they somehow make one of the sexiest men alive look like trash. And it is really fun. I think that the transition in the film is so well done between the nerdy, terrible, down on his luck Bradley Cooper to the suave, confident, overly optimistic Bradley Cooper. And it's all thanks to his friend, drugs. Warning, the following side effects have been experienced by users taking drug. Panic, calm, mind-altering realities, green people, that one weird episode of Friends, heartburn, nausea, upset stomach, diarrhea. Some users even experience death. Ask your doctor if drugs are right for you. It should go without saying, don't do drugs. However, if I could even gain a small semblance of the power that Bradley Cooper gains in this film from drugs, I would probably take him. And who knows, maybe this movie is actually just a giant advertisement for Adderall and I'm missing something. But don't do drugs. So yeah, Bradley Cooper pops a pill in his mouth and he becomes incredible. He looks sexy, he gains all the confidence, his world opens up, he gains smartness, and yeah, a lot of people think that's pretentious and terrible. I think those people are dumb. And the reason why is if you go into this movie expecting, oh, but that's not really how drugs work, that's not really what could happen anyway, nobody could gain 100% power of their mind, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. It's a movie, they imagined something, and they made it, and it works. It's a really good storyline, and it's a really good time. Now, yeah, the concept's not perfect, and neither is the movie. It has plenty of flaws. But try to have a good time with it, at least go watch it, and don't go in thinking that it's going to be a bad movie because it alters the abilities of science. Who cares? So did Interstellar. That movie's incredible. Anyway, back to the Cooper man. This guy rolls through town being awesome. He's like, yo, what if I took a few bucks and made millions just by working at really terrible stock market in the ways that I see fit? And then he becomes a millionaire. That's the movie. No, okay, there's actually a lot more than that. But that's the premise. And if you think that sounds cool, you should definitely watch this. It is a fun time. I will give a little warning here in the middle of this that there is a moment of nudity in the film. So if that's not your cup of tea, go ahead and skip it. Now on to one of my favorite characters. Well, rather, one of my favorite actors in Hollywood, Robert De Niro. You know, he plays an awesome role in this movie, and I think that I know he gets a lot of praise, it's Robert De Niro, but he doesn't get enough for all of his roles. And I think that he does such a good job in this movie at selling his character to you. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit of himself, but I mean, come on, it's De Niro. He's awesome. Watch this movie for him, if nothing else. Holy cow. He steps in, owns the screen, because that's who he is. His voice is so majestic. It's like butter in my ears mixed with whiskey. Oh, it's so good. Sorry, I lost myself for a second there. Point being, Robert De Niro is incredible, and his character Carl is even more awesome. Well, okay, probably not, but definitely awesome. And him alongside Bradley Cooper is something that just works. Speaking of other things that work, in this movie, the filter works. Okay, yeah, if you didn't watch my video where I ranted about Zack Snyder and his use of the moody filter, then you'll probably not understand why I'm bringing this up. But if you did, then you'll really get it. I think that the moody filter in this movie is so perfect. They use it every time that Bradley Cooper is not on drugs, and his world is just meek and boring and plain and gray and terrible, and you feel it. You feel it with the filter, you feel it with Bradley Cooper, you just feel it. You feel sick and nasty and terrible. But then, Broski pops this clear crystal whatever the heck it is in his mouth, and the filter comes off, and you get to see all the vibrant, beautiful colors of the world, and the skin tones, and the textures, and the beauty that is the world that we live in. And again, it's probably an advertisement for drugs, but I don't care. This movie is awesome, okay? And just that little bit of film nuance that they do to cover up these blemishes of our world are so cool. And I'll talk a little bit right now about the audio too. Alright, whoever's operating that boom, way to go, you capture everything perfectly. The music is really fitting for this movie too. Like, it's got its own little futuristic sci-fi kind of sound to it, but also sounds very modern. It's strange, and I really like it. The only other film that I could think of this kind of audio working in was the movie 21. Yeah, the poker movie. It did the same thing kind of with the music, but it works really well in both of those instances, and especially in this one. It just has a nice little sound to it that brings you into this world and doesn't tear you away. And the real last notable thing that I can think of to talk about this movie is the pacing. It doesn't get boring. It's not exactly perfect. It doesn't slow down when it could, and it doesn't speed up when it shouldn't. So it works really well. There's some weird moments that feel a little bit dry, I suppose, but that could just be a personal gripe or when I watched it. If you watch it late at night and you're a little tired, it might not help you. I've watched this movie a lot though, and I can say that my first go at it, I definitely didn't get bored at all. So maybe that. There's nothing else really to say about this film. It's kind of a guilty pleasure film for me. Definitely in my top 10 I could just watch this all the time movies. It's fun, it's original, it did a concept that another movie tried to do a few years later and really sucked. This one's good and fun. It's not a perfect film by any means. It doesn't do anything to excite me, and it doesn't make me change my views on the world. Maybe just the idea of Adderall. But that's about it. If you like this movie and you find it a guilty pleasure film as well, you should let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it really helps me out. And hell, you want to listen to me talk about more stuff, right?